Hello, 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 hello. How's everybody doing? It's Dr. Melva. Let's see if anybody's going to join me tonight. When you're here, like, comment, share, drop an emoji. Tell me where you're joining in from. I just wanted to do a little bit on fatigue. For those of you just joining me, I'm Dr. Melva, your board-certified radiation oncologist, and I help women, breast cancer survivors, live their most healthiest, vibrant lives post-cancer treatment. I do that through my online coaching programs, my Optimal Wellness Academy, and VIP coaching days. You can catch me right here on facebook.com/Dr. D-O-C-T-O-R Melva, M-E-L-V-A. All right, so let me know who's here. It's Sunday, and I am exhausted. It has been a long week of traveling, so I'm fatigued, and I wanted to pick up one of the resources and share it with you. I know it's backwards. I guess it's how I have the camera. I think it's a setting. I need to learn that on Facebook. But I have the Nutrition for the Person with Cancer During Treatment Guide. Hello, hello. A guide for patients and families produced by the American Cancer Society. So if you think it's helpful, I like to just go through the section for tips on dealing with fatigue, okay? So I'll give you a second. Get out paper, pen. If you're a typer, take some notes. It's going to be some good things. If you know someone going through cancer treatments or they've just finished their treatments for breast cancer or any other cancers, send them over my way. Go ahead and share it, and we're going to go over these tips that are in this book, okay? So it's a couple pages, shouldn't be too long, but like I said, I'm Dr. Melva for those of you just joining, and it's Sunday evening, and I need to be refreshed to start the week. I've been off for a week and traveling in Tennessee. We went to Illinois for a day. I popped on here, but I'm tired, so you're probably tired, so I want to teach a little bit. Is that okay? Let me know. Is that okay? All right. So hello from Oregon. Hi. Thank you so much for joining, Michelle. Nice to meet you. Thanks for joining from Oregon. All right. So fatigue. Who has experienced fatigue? So if you experience fatigue, raise your hand, drop an emoji, thumbs up if you know what it's like to go through being completely exhausted. All right. So that's my definition, when you're like completely exhausted and you have no energy and you don't really want to do anything. American Cancer Society. Hello. Hi, Anna. Is it Anna or Anna? I don't want to sound silly. Is that Minnesota or Maine? I don't know my abbreviations. Okay. So fatigue, thank you for joining. So fatigue is feeling very tired all the time. And again, I'm reading from the resource. Check out American Cancer Society for resources if you already haven't. And it doesn't get better when you rest. That's another category. It's a common problem for people with cancer and those getting cancer treatments. And if you're feeling tired or you lack energy, talk to your cancer team or your cancer care of doctors, okay? So what are the causes of fatigue? So I'm just kind of reading the book and going through some of the notes here. So it's a lot of causes, right? And cancer treatment itself, so whether that's the surgery, the radiation, the chemotherapy, can actually cause fatigue. Other areas that can cause fatigue are if you're not eating enough, so if your body's not getting enough nutrition to work on and run on, it can cause fatigue. Lack of sleep. Are there any ladies who are watching me who have a hard time falling asleep? Or better yet, when you fall asleep, you can't stay asleep. Okay, so that's a reason for fatigue. And that's something that I work with a lot of breast cancer clients, survivors on, is getting that good sleep. Okay. Oh, it's Anna from Chicago. Yes. All right. Thank you, Anna. Okay, I want to make sure oh, you said hello me. Okay, I thought it was an abbreviation. All right, thanks for joining. So we want you to get good sleep, okay? And there are a lot of things we can talk about. Rochelle, yes, exactly. All right, so not eating enough, lack of sleep, depression, okay? And you don't have to raise your hands, but I know this is a topic we talk a lot about. When your blood counts drop, so either while you're on treatment or if you finish treatment and your blood counts haven't popped back up to normal. And then some medicines can cause fatigue, okay? So it's important to know the reasons that you can have fatigue. And again, fatigue is that feeling tired all the time. I like to say it as just, a lot of my clients and women I work with are like, I just don't want to do anything. Like, I just don't have any energy. I can't do what I used to do, right? Does that sound familiar? Yes, yes. Okay. There's somewhat of a delay on the live, so I'm trying to get your comments. All right. So when the cause is medical, when the cause is from from fatigue is medical, then your doctor that you're seeing who's treating you, giving you medical advice, can help figure out the cause to make you feel better. Okay? And so along with treatment for some of those things that we talked about, there are many nutrition steps that you can take. And that's my favorite. Like, I want to be the person you come to for nutrition because I have learned so much about the power of food, especially working with breast cancer clients and my coaching groups and my own personal transformation and clients and patients that I have. Nutrition is key, okay? What you put in your mouth is powerful. Food is medicine, okay? So I want you to take that as your takeaway. So again, if you're just joining me, we're going over some tips here from my perspective because sometimes I read it a little differently than it may be just words on a page. All right, is this helpful? Those of you joining me, is this helpful talking about fatigue and kind of going over some of the causes of fatigue? All right, so the next they go into is, well, what do you do? Okay, if you're fatigued and you're tired all the time, what can you do to get better, right? Would anybody want to talk about what we can do to get better? Okay, so, all right, the first one is talk to your cancer care team. So I know a lot of you are survivors, 1 year, 5 year, 12 year, maybe 6 months, and you're joining me. Welcome to the community. You're doing follow-ups. So you have your physician, your nurse practitioner, your nurses, social workers. You have an entire team. Or if you're with me and you're one of my groups or community or coaching groups, we're also there for support. But the reason you should talk to your doctor if you're having fatigue is to make sure it's not a medical cause. Thank you for that. Okay? And they can help you figure out some self-care measures also that will help you with fatigue. But we want to make sure it's nothing in the blood that we can see, like the low blood counts, your thyroid being out of order, or some other cause that is medical that we can like fix right away or at least work on it. Okay? So that's the first one. The next one that they suggest is try to prioritize your activities. And they say to do the most important ones when you have the most energy. So let me know, has anyone done that? Have you had success of prioritizing what it is you need to do? Okay, let me know. So the reason this makes sense is because when you have fatigue, and we know it's not going to just go away on its own, you want to get the most bang for your buck, okay? So if you feel better in the morning, make your list of what you need to get done that day and try to do a lot of it in the morning if you know that the afternoons are kind of rough for you and you can't do as much, right? Or if you're someone who maybe in the evening hours, so it's like 8 o'clock on the East Coast now, and 8 to 10 are your power hours where you have energy, you're inspired, you've gone through the day, the nighttime is out, and you work at night. Do what you need to do and get done at night, okay? So that's what they're suggesting. So let me know if anyone has tried that before to prioritize your time. And when you have energy, make sure you're doing the things you need to do when you have that energy, okay? The next one is take short walks or get regular exercise. More and more research tells us being moderately active can help decrease cancer-related fatigue. All right, so this one, and I'm reading this straight from American Cancer Society, so I'm not making this up because sometimes when I'm talking with my clients or talking with patients in the office, they're like, well, doctor, you're telling me to work out when I'm tired. Like, how do you expect me to do that? And I look around, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've had this conversation thousands of times, but is there anyone who can vouch that when you're tired and you're fatigued, you actually feel a little bit better when you get your body moving? Right? This is one of those things that if you don't believe me or you don't believe the research or you haven't tried it, you literally have to just do it. Move your body, right? Thank you for that. So who likes to walk? Okay, so walking is really, really something that's great and easy to do if you can do it. You can do 15, 20-minute walks. Walk with a partner, okay? Walk with someone that's fun. Anyone have animals? Dogs are great walking partners. You can walk indoors. A lot of my clients use, and I think I've talked about this before, the indoor walking tapes. Leslie, I think Samsung, where it's Walk with Leslie, and you're just like standing still and you can walk like a mile, 2 miles, whatever, add a couple little weights. So there's no excuses about the weather or where you live, or if you don't have someone to walk with you. There's so many possibilities in this internet age of joining, a live workout class. Or if you look in my feed, there's a video on a Sunday where I did a 30-minute walk with my family and I was live for 30 minutes. So go watch that replay if you need some motivation. But exercise, moving your body, it does a lot of chemical things in your brain that give you endorphins that make you feel good, and it gives you that burst of energy when you're fatigued, okay? So is this helpful? Are you getting value from this? I know I look crazy because it's like Sunday. I have on my Mickey shirt and my Adidas hat, and my curtain in the background. But anyway, I just wanted to hop on and do a little teaching because I was tired, and I know you may be tired, and I wanted to give advice to help. So let me get some water. My mouth is dry too. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so far we've talked about talk to your cancer team about your fatigue to make sure it's not a medical problem. Number 2 is prioritizing your activities, like what you want to get done when you have the most energy. Number 3 is take short walks or get regular exercise, and we have research on that to help with cancer-related fatigue. Okay. Number 4, I almost messed up the timing. Get plenty of fluids, okay? Let me get some more. All right, good. So Anna said it's making good sense. Good. Good. That's why I'm here. All right, so drink plenty of fluids. And of course, as a doctor, I want to tell you to drink water. Where are my water drinkers? I know it's not great for everybody to start, but they say in this book, and again, I'm going through this guide, anybody just joining me from American Cancer Society, dehydration, meaning when your body is tapped out, you're dry. You've been dehydrated before, you can kind of tell, like the skin, they call it tinting, if you can't pull up the skin, like this, and sometimes you look at the reflex, like if it isn't flowing a lot, or your tongue, that's how you can tell when you're dehydrated, or your doctor, go to your doctor if you want to tell. Hey, thanks for watching, thanks for joining. So dehydration, like when your body doesn't have enough water or fluids, it can make your fatigue worse. So be sure to get at least 8 cups of fluid each day. I'm going to say water. The book says fluid, but Dr. Melva says water. And if you're losing weight, be sure that you include some fluids that have calories. Okay, so in addition to water, like they say juices or milk. So juices, low sugar juices, that kind of thing. So Rochelle says, how much water should one be drinking a day? So the recommended, so they say 8 cups of fluid each day with the American Cancer Society. The only kind of caveat to that in a medical sense, and a disclaimer, not medical advice, just information on, on this platform, is if you have any cardiac issues, heart issues, kidney function issues, or if you're on any medications where you have to be restricted with how much water you can intake. But normally they're saying 8 cups of fluid each day. The other recommendation or rule of thumb we usually go through is taking half of your body weight in ounces and drinking that many ounces per day. Okay, but again, you have to have that disclaimer that if you have any reason that you can't take in that much fluid, then you would make sure that you talk to your doctor about that. Okay, does that help? All right, so American Cancer Society says fluid. I don't like to recommend sugary drinks. I actually use, and I can drop the link, I use a drink called Hydrate, and it is vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, soy-free, and it gives a lot of energy and electrolytes in the drink, and so we drink that around our house, and I recommend that to people who are looking for a drink for energy, electrolyte replacements without all of the sugar and added junk. So I'll place a link to that at the bottom of this video. All right, so those are the first 4 tips. So talk to your cancer team, prioritize your activities when you have energy, take short walks or get exercise, drink plenty of fluids, and again, 8 cups of fluid per day, or half your body weight in ounces, or if you have a restriction, don't do that. And then if you've lost weight and you need calories, something that has increased calories, they mention in this book juices or milk, with the caveat. So, all right. So let me know if you're getting value, if this is helping. I don't want to keep you too long. All right, so they have one more page. So we're going to go one more page. If you have to head off, this will be recorded and you can catch it on the replay. All right. So fatigue, those of you just joining, I'm Dr. Melva, and we were talking about fatigue, its causes, and going over the guide from American Cancer Society. Okay. So the next one, which is really tough for a lot of people, is making sure that you get enough rest. That's a lot easier said than done, right? So they recommend that you take 3 or 4 short naps or like rest breaks during the day instead of one long rest. Let me know if anybody's tried this and you've had success with it. I know a lot of patients and clients I've worked with have had success instead of just going and saying, hey, look, I'm fatigued and you're going to sleep for hours in at a time. You time it throughout the day. And I know there are a lot of philosophies, different philosophies on this. But what they're recommending is to plan your day and include rest breaks. And then make a special time with a good book in a comfortable chair or a favorite movie with a friend. And try to balance the rest and activities so it doesn't interfere with the nighttime sleep that you're getting. So that's what they say in the book. Is that helpful? Is that clear? Has anyone done that or any questions about that? Let me know. All right. So the next tip is try easier or shorter versions of your usual activities. So don't push yourself to do more than you can manage. This is a really good tip. And I guess what they're saying is, I like the fact that they talk in this book about not pushing yourself, but I also want to like kind of take a second to talk about what did they say? Don't push yourself to do more than you can manage. I also want to talk about like not quitting altogether. Okay, so just because you're fatigued and you're tired all the time, I don't want you to start to withdraw and just get frustrated and give up and just say, well, like not even start, right? So there are those two extremes. So a lot of women I talk to, it's like they almost just remove themselves or withdraw themselves from being able to do the activity at all because they're just worried and they have doubt that they won't have the energy to do it. If that's playing with your kids or, going out on a bike with friends, even for a little bit, or that walk, don't count yourself out, right? So what they're saying and what my twist on it is don't push yourself to do more than you can manage. But what I'm saying is don't not start before you start. Does that make sense? So what they're saying, try easier or shorter versions of your usual activity, because the small changes we make, the easier it is to get back to like where we were going. Instead of saying we're going to do it in extinction and get rid of it, let's try a little bit at a time. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, and work your way up. So don't push yourself, but also don't count yourself out. Okay? All right, next, and I love this one. Ask for a referral to a dietitian who can work with you to choose the best diet for you. So I actually got a grant in my clinic recently. We pushed for it for about 2 years so that all my patients could work with dietitians. And what I noticed is that not only were dietitians necessary and helpful to the women I work with during their treatments, it was also really helpful after, because after you're like, oh my gosh, like what do I eat? And you hear all these recommendations and putting it together is really tough, which is part of the reason I started nutrition groups, because I found that women needed a support and like accountability group to really understand like rules or recommendations here. Like you have to put a person to it or people to it, like what works and what's real for you and what's convenient. And in addition to that, like what will you actually do? Right? Because I can give you like a list of foods to eat and a list of things to do, but unless we put emotion behind that and you have a reason to follow it and it works for you, you're not going to do it, right? So, all right. So find a dietitian if you don't have one. All right. So next they say, try eating some protein, fat, and fiber with each meal and snack to help keep your blood sugar levels more stable. This will give you a more sustained feeling of energy from the food you eat. And they say, for instance, instead of eating 2 pieces of fruit, try eating 1 piece plus a small handful of like some nuts. And they give examples of walnuts, almonds, peanuts, or other nuts. And you can also try fruit with cottage cheese. So, this is a start. I think it's good. I think it's good information, but it's kind of like generic. It's a starting point, right? Which is, again, why I like to put more specifics in it. Hey, Mary, thanks for joining. We're talking about fatigue. Thanks for joining. So this is kind of a starting point. So it's, what does Anna say? Thank goodness I finally got to see you live. You're so amazing. Thanks for your support. Oh, thank you, Anna. I appreciate that. Yes, I'm live and in the flesh. Thanks for joining. I haven't done a teaching one like this in a while. So I was like, let me hop on and let's put this black and white writing, like put some energy to it, right? Because I read this and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine having to read this big book when I'm tired and can't eat. I mean, it's a great resource, but I'm reading it live with you. Like, I haven't looked at it in a while, and I'm just like, okay, like, how could I take this and do something with it now, right? Because that's the value, is if you can take something, even if it's one piece of information, and like use it, right? Because if you're confused, a confused mind does nothing, right? And we don't want you to do nothing. So, all right, so they're saying eat some protein, fat, fiber, and then they give some examples. So this is okay. So 2 pieces of fruit, and then you can add some nuts. That's like the fat, right? So walnuts, almonds, peanuts, other nuts. You know what nuts I really like right now? I'm kind of into these Brazilian nuts. Have you seen these? That just sounds kind of dirty, but they're the big, they're the big white like Brazilian nuts. I have a can in the kitchen. I should take you and show them to you. I also like cashews. I like almonds. Sometimes I do the peanuts, but I stay away from those because I tend to get the honey roasted peanuts, and like, you know how you see all the sugar on them. So anyway, those are that. So what are y'all's favorite? What are y'all's? I'm from the South. What are your favorite nuts? Like, which nuts do you eat that you could add with fruit to help you with fatigue? So are you a walnut kind of gal? Almonds, peanuts? What do you eat? So again, I like cashews. I think they're fun to eat. I don't do pecans as much. Almonds, I do a lot of almonds. I always get the natural, like, unsalted, pure organic ones. So, all right. And then fruit with cottage cheese. Some people I know are staying away from dairy, so take it how you want it. All right, we got 3 more tips, and then we're going to wrap it up, okay? Thank you so much for joining. I hope you're getting value. If you're just joining me, I'm Dr. Melva, and we're talking about fatigue, what it is, and what we can do to change it with recommendations from the American Cancer Society. So next we have, be sure to meet your basic caloric needs. Now that's just kind of like general, right? And they refer you to another page, tips to get more calories and proteins. So there's lots of things you can Google to learn about that. How many of you watching actually know like how many calories you need for your height and weight? Like, is that something that you just know? All right, Mary says she likes walnuts and almonds. Excellent, excellent, very good. Thanks for sharing that. So meet your basic caloric needs. So going back to their other tip, that's why it helps to have a dietitian or be in some type of program, you know, either with a physician or dietitian who will help you get that. There are lots of tools online. I'm pretty sure if you go to the AmericanCancerSociety.org, or it's cancer.org now, their book, they will tell you more information about calculating your caloric needs. But that's something that's just good to know, how many calories you need. But yeah, so they're like, well, make sure you're meeting your calories, which makes sense because we said at the beginning, if you don't get enough calories to have enough energy, you're going to be fatigued. Okay. So look that up. Maybe do a Google search. I know everybody does a Google search, and find a calculator, but that's also good. But I'd be interested to know how many people like actually know how many calories they need for a healthy, you know, each day. All right, let's see. Look at some of the comments. So Rochelle said, I like almonds in my salads. What is your opinion on being vegan? I've had doctors tell me I'm not getting enough protein and I should eat meat. And Mary says, I was so glad to hear from you. Hey, Mary, good to hear from you. All right, so Rochelle, to answer your question, almonds in your salad, that's great. That's protein. What's your opinion on being vegan? So there's a lot of data actually on plant-based diets. And the thing with vegan is I did like a 75-day vegan flash back in the fall. I don't know if I did lives on it or not, but oh my gosh, like I felt amazing. There are a lot of differences. And so when I was doing that journey, it was plant-based, and then I looked at vegan. You could be a vegan and eat Oreos all day. So I think it depends on like what type of vegan you are and what balance of foods that you have. But what do I think about it? I think it's absolutely great benefits. I'm not sure of the doctors or whoever told you you're not getting enough protein and that you should eat meat. I'm not sure who they were or what the context of it was. It'd be really helpful to actually look at what you're getting, either with a dietitian, or if you want to send me a DM and we can kind of go through it together. I'm happy to talk to you about those options. There's kind of a right, safe way to do it where you get enough protein without eating meat. And then there's some people who maybe aren't getting all of the supplements and things that they need. So there's a lot of benefits in plant-based, whole foods based, and then there's kind of a lot of advice on balancing which of those approaches you have. So I'm completely open to that as long as it's done in a safe way where you're getting the protein, and you can get a ton of protein when you're doing it the right way. So I think it's an education thing. And whoever said those comments, a lot of us have had to do additional training and education to understand proteins and nutrition. So I've been super involved in this for maybe over like 3 years and work with thousands of people. So I have gotten extra training to be comfortable in recommendations, but that's not something that we absolutely get in traditional medical school. But you'll find a lot of doctors who are more on the approaches of, food is medicine, looking at plant-based, especially in the post-cancer treatment setting. So anyway, I don't want to keep going too long, but yes, that's how I feel. I hope that's helpful, Rochelle. All right, so let's wrap this up. Sorry, I get really passionate about stuff I like to talk about. But I hope that helped you. All right, so next 2 points in this series are: do not take large amounts of vitamins or minerals without first talking to your cancer team. There are some dietary supplements that can interfere with your cancer treatment, especially if you're on active chemotherapy or radiation. We think about antioxidants in large volumes we kind of watch for. And some in large doses, like ridiculous doses, can cause harmful effects. But there are a lot of, again, working with a professional, such as a medical doctor or someone who specializes in vitamins, supplements, nutrients, can help you do that in a safe way. So I recommend and work with a lot of breast cancer survivors on supplements because I know that our nutrition does not have dense nutrition, what's available, but I also recommend it in a safe manner to make sure that there are no interactions with any of the supplements I recommend and what you're eating or what treatment you're getting. So it can be done in a safe, effective manner. Okay? All right. And the last point, welcome. Thank you for joining me. It's Dr. Melva. We're talking about fatigue, going over some tips from the American Cancer Society. And the last one, oh my gosh, they say the best one for last. So I have to get some water. I don't have my fan on, so it's a little hot. It's hot. Stress. Oh my gosh. This is like the number one cause of so many of my clients' fatigue. And like they don't even realize it until we start talking, or rather I start listening and I'm like, oh my gosh, you got a lot of stress. You got a lot of stress. We need to work on that because your cortisol levels are out the roof. So American Cancer Society says that stress can make fatigue worse, and ask your cancer care team about stress management. So that's a whole nother topic, which I would love to talk about stress and what I recommend for stress management. One of those recommendations is talk a lot about meditation, affirmations, essential oils. I'm so excited. Before I'd said that the company I partner with didn't have essential oils, and they just announced that they do. So I'm super excited because I started using those, integrating those with my clients some time ago. Actually, I've been looking into them for a while, and I finally started using them, and the results are amazing, especially for stress relief and so many other things. So I'll talk about that. If you're interested, hit me up. I'm super excited that we have those coming out. But stress is something that, yeah, you got to address it. So the American Cancer Society, again, recommends to talk to your cancer care team. Coaching support groups like this are great for that. I hope this was helpful because this is a thick book. There are lots of resources out there which are great, but sometimes it's just good to kind of have like a book club, right? Talk about it, get your feedback, ask your questions. So if anybody has any questions for me, I'll hang out for a few more minutes. Then I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm kind of tired. We drove what did we drive? It was about 11 hours each way to Nashville where we went. And we came back the other day, got here at 1 a.m. And then, we've had birthday parties and things that we've been back to. So I'm wiped out, but I wanted to say hello and get on here and do a little teaching on fatigue. So I hope you got value. If you did, please like, comment, share with someone who you know can use it, and drop an emoji and let me know you're here if you haven't already. So any questions, ladies? I know I answered a lot during the way. Let me just look through and make sure I didn't miss anybody. All right, let's see. What do we have? All right, so Anna says, once again, thank you. Sending tons of blessing for your support. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for showing up. I'm glad you're getting value from this. This is just what I love to do because I know that everybody can't just like explain things like this and bring this energy to you that you probably need on this Sunday night, especially if it's with fatigue. So thank you so much for joining me. Anybody else? Any other comments? Let's see. I know there's a delay, so I don't want to miss people. I always do that. Like I'll be like, oh, okay, bye. And then I'll see someone like live ask a question. My bad. All right, I think that's it. So thank you, ladies, so much for joining me. Again, if you got value, please like, comment, and share. Again, I'm Dr. Melva, your board-certified radiation oncologist, and I help women live their most vibrant, healthiest lives post-cancer treatment. I do that in my online coaching programs. I'm going to drop the link below, but you can follow me right here on facebook.com/doctormelva, doctormelva. Until next time, ladies, yours in health, Dr. Melva. Bye.